First year students, I have told you the definition of the sentence, the kinds of sentences, and also sometimes the transformation of sentences. Simple sentence has gone. Today I will discuss only the compound and complex. Since you are going to face the exam, you are going to face the exam very soon. Tomorrow you have to appear the exam, and I have to analyze these things in a nutshell. So you mark. I have told you that in a phrase you will never get any subject and predicate. You will never get any subject and predicate in the phrase, but in the clause you will get subject and predicate. When you will find a subject and a predicate in the clause, you will get a simple sentence. I have told you that simple sentence is very important for you. So far as your writing is concerned, you have to write or you have to stick to the simple sentence. Simple sentence will carry a subject and a predicate. Sure, I am sure. And again, it is a clause, which is otherwise known as a main clause, the principal clause, the main clause. And in phrase, maybe noun phrase, maybe verb phrase, in phrase you will never have a subject and a predicate. The when, in a sentence you will have that. You will get a simple sentence. A simple sentence, normally, a subject and a predicate will stand by themselves. They will stand. A predicate will support the subject. And the verb is finite. The verb is finite. Because the finite verb has something to do with the tense. A finite verb is bound by tense, person, number, etc. But in compound sentence, you will see, in a compound sentence, two principal clauses are there. And there is a coordinator in between the two. You will mark. So the coordinators are and, but, or, still, yet, for, otherwise, and many of the things are there you don't know. You have already come across there in your high school. The coordinators, and they are called conjunctions or connectors. They are called conjunctions or connectors. A sentence which is made up of principal or main clauses. A sentence which is made up of principal or main clauses is called compound sentence. You mark. And there is a coordinator in between the two. So in two sentences, both the sentences are independent. Both the sentences in a compound sentence, both the sentences are independent. More than two sentences are there. Two principal clauses are there. So in a compound sentence, you will find a principal clause plus a conjunction, a connector, and then you will also get another principal clause. And both the clauses are independent. You mark. Both the clauses are independent. And you will mark. And again, I want to say, two or more principal or main clauses you will see in compound sentences. In compound sentences, you will see two or more principal or main clauses. Hence, a sentence consisting of two or more coordinating clauses, because coordinators are there. You will take the help of coordinators to join the sentences, two sentences. So, three sentences or four sentences. Coordinators have an important role to play. But the sentences, the principal clauses are independent clauses. They will never depend upon others. But a subordinate clause will depend upon the principal clause, you mark. But that will come in complex sentences. In a complex sentence, you will find subordinate clauses. There are 3-4 numbers. Number 1 is a noun clause. Number 2 is adjective clause or that is called a relative clause, and number 3 is adverb clause. And other clauses are there. In adverb clauses, many kinds of adverb clauses are there, many kinds. And conditional clause also comes under adverb clause, conditional clause. So conditional clause is having 3 types. Conditional clauses are having 3 types. Conditional, upon condition, unfulfilled condition, unreal condition. So many of the things are there. I will also tell you if the time permits. If the time permits, I will also give you the example. So you come to the coordinators. I have told you many coordinators are there. Neither nor, either or, therefore, and, or, but, still, so, as well as, and many coordinators are there. And we take the help of coordinators in order to join 2 sentences, 2 clauses, 2 principal clauses. They are joiners or connectors, you mark. There is coordinating or coordinating clauses, coordinate clauses. So important. So I will tell you one example. The moon was bright. The moon was bright and we could see our way. You mark. The moon was bright and we could see our way. Moon was bright is a main clause. And we could see our way is another main clause. And is the conjunction. And 2 main clauses are joined with a conjunction. So the first sentence is independence. The moon was bright. And the second sentence, that is called we could see our way, is also independent. They are equal rank. They have their equal rank. And that is why that is a compound sentence. You mark. I will also give you another example. The example is, I shall do it now. I shall do it now, or I shall not do it at all. I shall do it now, or is a conjunction. I shall do it now is a main clause. I shall, when there is a subject and a predicate, or you will get a finite verb. The sentence is, I shall do it. I shall do it. Do has something to do with I, you mark. Do, I shall do it. Do has something to do with I. So that is why it is bound by tense. So the first sentence is a principal clause, and the second sentence is, I shall not do it at all. I shall do it now. I shall do it now, or I shall not do it at all. I shall not do it also. Do it at all is also an independent clause. That is also a principal clause. 2 principal clauses have joined together. 2 principal clauses have joined themselves. They are the 2 in 1. 2 in 1. But every sentence is independent and every sentence has equal rank. It has equal rank. So, I will give you the third example. He threw the stone. He threw, T-H-R-E-W. He threw the stone, but it missed the dog. He threw the stone, but it missed the dog. You mark. But conjunction is there. He threw the stone is the principal clause. And it missed the dog is another principal clause. 2 principal clauses joined each other. They 2 in 1. And there is a conjunction, there is a coordinator, there is a joiner, there is a connector, that is called but. So I gave you 3 examples, you mark. This is about the compound sentence. But the complex sentence is very important. You have to know many things. You have to find out many things. You have to know many things. So complex sentence. In complex sentence, you will have a principal clause and other subordinate clauses. You mark. In complex sentence, you will have a principal clause and other subordinate clauses. The subordinate clauses are many. The subordinate clauses are many. Number one, noun clause. Number one, noun clause. Number two, adjective clause. Sometimes called a relative clause. Relative clause is also categorized in a different way. I will tell you. In a relative clause, there is a defining relative clause. Another non-defining relative clause. In defining relative clause, you cannot put comma, you cannot give a comma. In a defining relative clause, you will use that. In a defining relative clause, that is used, who is used. But in non-defining relative clause, you will give a comma. That is important. And I will tell you later on if I get time. Time is a great factor. I will also give you the example. Dear students, I gave you 3 examples. The sentences are made up of main or independent clauses joined by conjunctions like and, or, and, but. 3 conjunctions are there, I have given you. 3 conjunctions. And they are and, or, but. I have given 3 conjunctions. So you mark the constituent clauses of each sentence. The second sentence I am telling you about. The first sentence is a main clause, no doubt. The second sentence is also a main clause. That is called a constituent clause. So a constituent clause of each sentence is of equal rank. That is why it is called a compound sentence. That is why it is called a compound sentence, because they will stand by themselves. These 2 sentences will stand by themselves. But in relative clause, adjective clause, noun clause, and also adverb clause, you will never see that. Because they will depend upon the main clause. That is the complex sentence. That will depend upon the main clause. Very important. That will depend upon the main clause. So, I want to tell you about the complex sentence only one or two. Because your exam is knocking at the door, very close to you. So, you have to know. They rested when evening came. You mark. The sentence is about the complex sentence. I want to tell you. They rested when the evening came. They rested is a main clause. They rested is a main clause. When evening came. Evening came is meaningless. Because it will depend upon the first sentence. It will depend upon the main clause. When evening come is a relative clause, or a relative clause, evening came, subordinate clause, you say, it is a subordinate clause, and it will depend upon the main clause. They rested is the main clause. Because rested is a verb, it is a finite verb, you mark. Rested is a finite verb, it will depend, it is bound by the tense. They rested is a finite verb. Rested is a finite verb. And when evening came will depend upon they rested. You mark, I am telling you, they rested, give a full stop. You will have a very beautiful sentence. They rested, give a full stop there. Samana rest nalle, uta full stop de diyo. Tame बढ़िया वाक्य टे पाइलो. They rested. से जो कारण रू rest नहीं होतु. तमे they rested. जतला आसला when evening came. किछि बुझा पड़िला कि जतरा संध्या आसिला हेटा गोटे अलगा कर दियो वाक्यटाको. You cannot find actual meaning. When evening came, something is there left. Something is there left. किछि जिंस रही होला एवं सहित में जोटा रही होला ताहारी ऊपर निर्भर कला एटा. You mark. And when evening came, depended upon the rest. So that is why it is called a complex sentence. Each part of the above sentence contains a subject and a predicate. प्रत्येक part रे subject predicate रही छि. पिला माने तमे जानि था फर्स्ट रे पिला जानि था सेहि पे उडिया टिके कहूची प्रत्येक पार्ट रे सब्जेक्ट प्रेडिकेट रोहुची एवं ईच पार्ट इज ए क्लॉज ईच पार्ट इज ए क्लॉज दैट इज इंपोर्टेंट किंतु फ्रेज रे क्लॉज नॉट फ्रेज इज नॉट ए क्लॉज फ्रेज इज विदाउट सब्जेक्ट एंड प्रेडिकेट फ्रेज इज विदाउट सब्जेक्ट एंड प्रेडिकेट बट ए क्लॉज हैज ए सब्जेक्ट एंड प्रेडिकेट and this is about I tell you because exam is very close to you exam is knocking at the door and you are to appear you will also present your view this much I don't want to kill your time tomorrow you will face the exam this much thank you all